What's good, everybody? I'm Johnny Danger.
I'm Jesse Wheeler.
And we are the Dangerous Dudes.
So I was kind of contemplating the other night as I'm looking at DraftKings, thinking about what bets I want to make, kind of bored of betting NBA right now, and baseball's impossible. So I was kind of laughing about, like, what if I could bet, like, how quickly I can get in and out of Wegmans on a Saturday afternoon, or
how quickly you can get in and out of Wegmans to buy a Coors Banquet beer.
Exactly, or the likelihood of somebody leaving their cart in the middle of the aisle, that type of thing. And it's like minus 125, and I'd put $100 on that.
So those of you that aren't familiar with gambling odds, minus means it's more likely to happen. Plus odds means it's less likely to happen. We like plus odds because you make more money. But if the plus is too high, you're basically pissing your money away.
Yeah.
Unless you're this guy who gets lucky with those.
Not that often,
more than your average person.
So it got me thinking about your Panera experience and all of the potential bets, or like ridiculous things that could come of that. So
it's funny.
I was need to tell the story.
I was actually thinking that when I made the decision to go to Panera, it's traditionally a long wait. I always joke that Panera is fast food for people who like to spend a lot of money for getting their food really slow.
Yeah, you still go.
If that's what you're into, that's the place to go. Really slow, really expensive. Pretty good though, right?
Some of it's really good.
Some of it's decent. And I know, Rob Casterline, our buddy, was saying, like, everybody gets so excited about Panera, like, calm down. It's bagels and, like, bread thrown in a microwave.
I like the egg soufflés.
Yeah, I love the ice cream tea. I love their tuna sandwich.
A lot of it probably is done in the microwave.
Probably. They have a Frontega chicken panini that's really effing good.
Is that what you ordered?
No, I was ordering a tuna sub and a Greek yogurt parfait because I was really, really hungry.
Yogurt parfait sounds pretty good.
And I usually always bring my lunch with me, or I prepare my own lunch, but it was one of those days where I was like, I'm going to take a lunch break. So hopped off campus, went downtown, had my laptop with me, and I wasn't intending to go to Panera, but I saw it. I got the hunger alert. I saw 4 cars in the drive-through line, and I did the over-under in my head. I was like, well, that's about 4 cars. I'm going to say that's a 20-minute wait. So that's probably
5 minutes a car.
That's probably about 5 minutes a car. So I'd say, like, the over-under on that was like minus 120 to be about 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's basically even odds.
And I discovered that those odds should have been about plus 8,000 because what happened was the longest wait I've ever had at any fast food restaurant in my life. It was a fever dream at one point. Pull up and long wait, expecting it. And the kicker is, if there's a car that pulls behind you, you're screwed because you can't make that decision like, I'm not waiting this long, I'm going to leave. Once a car
you're pinned in,
pulls behind you, you're in there.
Now you're committed.
You are committed. So I said, screw it. I'm going to answer some emails. I'm going to work on some Word docs. I'm going to be productive. No big deal. The first 25 minutes flew by. The next 25 minutes were a little bit more painful. And there was a stretch of about 20 to 25 minutes where literally nothing happened. I mean, nothing.
Time stood still.
Changed. No movement from anybody whatsoever for 20 straight
If someone
minutes.
had a time-lapse camera on that, they'd be like, is this thing frozen?
Right.
Like nothing happened.
Right.
Like,
you would have thought that the screen froze. So, short story long, I finally get up to my window and I noticed that those cars that were ahead of me on that long waiting stretch of about 20 minutes, they were on there's like a blind spot in the corner. And those were the 2 cars that were in the second waiting line. They say, they take your money. They say, yeah, we'll bring your order right out. Could you please pull up here in bay 1 and bay 2?
Yeah.
That's not where you want to be in life. If you find yourself in the second waiting line at a restaurant,
It's like
you've made a wrong
it's
move
like
somewhere.
the second level of hell in Dante's Inferno, isn't it?
Because you have no control over it
the
now.
Second waiting line in Panera.
What incentive do they have?
Right.
They got your money.
Right.
They can take their time. My power move would have been, no, I'm going to stay here and I'll give you my debit card when I get my tuna sandwich. Because the people behind me had already been waiting for, an hour as well. So
that would be what Chuck Norris would do.
I felt like we were all in this together.
like the solidarity feeling. We're all like, but it's end of days.
But nobody was doing anything. So I got to thinking about that video for Everybody Hurts by REM. Where everybody just gets out of the car on the highway and just starts walking, and they leave their cars there. Like at some point somebody's going to snap. And I don't know if it's going to be me or the guy behind me. And the way that the bay is set up, there's this glass window of people in the dining room. And I'm like, it felt like I'm like with this guy for like 15 minutes. It's just me and this guy. And like, he's right here. I was like, I can't do this any longer. Like, I can't just be here. And I noticed that car that got pulled up into the second bay left. And I had been watching. He did not get his food. Yeah. So he made the decision. And that's when I was like, oh, this is bad. Like something went wrong. If you're in line for an hour, somebody from the restaurant's got to say something. They gave me this We're Sorry card that said it's good for like 2 meals that you can pick from or 2 items that you can pick from on the menu. I wanted the hour of my life back.
Yeah.
So I went out of the second bay. I went to park in front of the store. I got out and I walk in the store. Now, I have no intention of like yelling at some service worker that's making $12 an hour. I'm not going to do that in any situation. I know that if there's an hour wait at a drive-through, something went wrong. It's not one person's fault. But I was like, what is it? Did somebody die? Like, did one of the microwaves blow up? Something had to have happened. That's not normal. Like, okay, a bunch of app orders, right, came in. It was graduation weekend. It's a tuna sandwich. Yeah. It's a tuna.
And they're all like 40% made anyways. They just like finish them when people order them. It's not like they're like mixing the tuna up when you order it and like it's all like almost ready to go. It has to be. That's what fast food is.
Right. But Panera's unlike any other fast food place I've ever experienced. And hate to say it, but probably won't be experienced it again. I put them on blast on my IG, and I actually got a response from Panera.
A DM, right? They're in your DMs?
They're in my DMs. And they said, tell us all about it. And I told them all about it. And then they responded back with, we're sorry this happened. Would you happen to have a picture of the receipt? It's like, do you think that I'm going through all this trouble to scam you guys out of $17.10?
Oh my God.
Like, it's come down.
It's this elaborate scam that took up all this time to get $17.
To get $17.10,
right.
In the plus column. And they basically responded back. They're saying like, well, I got that receipt.
Yeah, you don't have the receipt.
You're going to have to go back and,
I have to say probably 99% of the time when somebody leaves a restaurant like that without getting their food because they waited an unreasonable amount of time and they're pissed, 99% of the time they take the receipt and crumple it up and are like, I don't ever want to see this thing again. Which is exactly what I did. Exactly. And so, which is like,
I got to the gas station.
So the person's like, who's making those decisions at Panera? Like, well, we can give them a refund, but get a picture of the receipt. Like, who decided that was the next step? You're familiar with taxes, right? A little bit. Wouldn't that $17.10 that they eat just be like, what do they call it? Refund. A write-off? Customer refund, right? It's a write-off, right? Big corporations all do that. It's a write-off. 4 back and forth messages with Panera, and they just come back with, well, sorry, there's nothing we can do. You're going to have to go back. Like, I'm not going back there for $17. It's the principle. What are you going to do? Go back there and tell the person at the counter what happened and have them be like, all right, well, here's like a chocolate chip cookie. Sorry. That's the other thing. When you have a My Panera Rewards thing, you give them your cell phone, and they... like the more you go there, you accumulate. Get rewards every so often. What, do you have a reward coming now? Well, I'm never going there again. Right. It's one, and me, like I won't. Like I'm done. I'm the same way. It's the same thing. I have that vendetta with FanDuel. I've got back. Like free pastries. Exactly. PayPal. PayPal. They try to ding me for this $100 charge that was
imaginary. I never used it.
Yeah.
And they sent it to collections. It's like, I don't care. I will go to my grave owing you $64 because it's imaginary.
Right.
It's principle.
Well, yeah. Plus, there's plenty of other places to eat besides Panera.
And I could have been I could have just gone home. That was the other thing. It was an hour.
Well,
I could have just gone home, made my food. You know, I was still at work, but I could have it was a Friday. It was later in the afternoon at that point. You know, it was close to quitting time anyway. I could have just gone home, made my lunch, and just been happy. I like being at home anyway.
And chilled out at home. Like whenever you're in a scenario like that where you feel like your time's been wasted significantly, your brain always goes to the point of like way better stuff you could have been doing with that time.
Right.
So it's like I could have gone home, made better food, and then had a half hour to just like chill out and do anything else but wait in line and not get my food. You could have stared at the wall, which would have been better.
I could have rescued orphan puppies.
Yeah.
I could have done all this great
your
stuff.
Your cat and your dog. You could have played with Lilo.
Yeah, I could have spent some quality time.
Just stayed at home, which at this point in life is
tell me about
one of our favorite things to do. Like when I was younger, I used to laugh. You know, you're in your 20s and you always want to go, go, go. I used to laugh at my dad never wanted to go anywhere ever, and maybe out to eat once in a while.
Same here.
Never wanted to go anywhere and be like, what's wrong? Like, come on, let's just get out of the house. And now I get it. It's, there's Rory Scovel, one of my favorite comedians, has this bit where once you get into your 40s, it's like if you could, stay out all night and drink as much as you want and not be hungover the next day, or pay $20 to go to bed by 8 o'clock, you would put 40 down just to make sure it happened.
Yeah.
Which is such an amazing bit because of how true it is. You get to this point. Now, I don't usually go to bed by 8, but I love the whole idea of just relaxing at home.
Me too.
Weekends where you don't have a lot of things planned. You might have, you're going to go see a show, or you may go to dinner.
And you're trying to keep it quiet.
And you
don't want to let a lot of people know.
You might be able to catch up on some things at home that you've been wanting to do, but you don't have to. You can just kind of drink your coffee slow in the morning. You're not getting up at any specific time. I love it. You wake up, you're not planning on getting up, early, but you also don't oversleep. Get up around 8:30 or 9. You sleep good, have a couple cups of coffee at a relaxing pace, not like going to work.
You could watch a movie on a Saturday, by yourself.
Just chill out. Or last Saturday, I wrote a new song and I went downstairs and demoed the whole thing that I sent to you guys. And it was because I had nothing else planned, it was this super chill day, and I ended up messing around with Logic Pro and learning about the new drum. They have this drum programming feature now that's pretty fun and pretty amazing. So having the luxury of that time made it really fun. And then it got to be 4 o'clock on Saturday. I was like, holy crap, I just did this whole demo. I feel good about it. I'm going to go, have dinner in a little bit, and I don't really have anything else to worry about. That's a good day.
It's a great day.
When you're in your teens and your 20s and someone describes that, you're like, what else are we doing?
Right. Nate Bargatze has this great bit about the difference between being in your 20s, your 30s, and your 40s. And he's like, when you get asked by a friend in your 20s to go do something, all they got to do is ask, hey, what are you doing Friday night? It's like, whatever, let's go.
Yeah, let's go. I'm down for whatever.
Yeah, I'll move there.
Right.
And then you get in your 30s and they say, hey, let's go let's go somewhere. Let's hang out tonight. And it's more like,
I'm going to drive separate.
Yeah, I'm going to drive separate.
Who else is going to be there?
What time does it start?
What time does it start?
By the time you get to your 40s, you get pissed that they even asked.
Why would you even ask me that?
You've seen that one?
Yeah.
He's so great. Accurate.
That's why it's such a great bit, because we can all relate to it.
So we've been in bands for 26 years now.
Yeah.
And back in the day, it was a badge of honor to play last. It was cooler to play at 1 a.m. than it was to like.
Yeah, I can
play
remember
at 10
times
o'clock at
going
night.
on at like
1:30
12 or 1:30. You would
Going
go
on.
at that point.
I remember sound checking in between bands one time, and I looked at my my phone, and it said like 12:50.
Yeah.
I was like, what am I doing with my life?
But you're like, you were cool with it. And it actually felt like
That was the first time that I could tell. I was in my 30s, and I was like, it's starting to wear on me.
Now, if we're on a 3-band bill, it's like
We're going middle.
we're going on the middle, and
Yeah.
hopefully that middle starts. It ends before 10. We're off stage by 10.
What is it with booking dudes that always want to squeeze in that fourth band?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's always
It's
a
all
bad
about.
idea.
It's so hard to get people to go out anymore since COVID that they're just looking for 4 bands with potentially different crowds to just draw as many people as possible. But it never works because you either cut band sets to less than 40 minutes, and they're always unrealistic about changeover times too.
Yeah, 15 minutes.
We're gonna have
All
bands on the hour. Everybody gets a 45-minute set. Okay, I got news for you. After the first band, you're gonna be behind schedule, and then by the third band, the fourth band is going on an hour after they're supposed to, and everybody's gonna be gone.
Right, and then there's always the classic, lead singer that has like, some old high school buddies that are there to see him, and they're just screaming one more.
Yeah,
and you get like the unwanted encore in between bands,
Overstepping your time slot in a multi-band show,
and they're just not even thinking about the fact that there's 2 bands,
right?
And that
there's a schedule, and that we. It's a different time post-COVID. Like there's just a need to end. I mean, all the shows end earlier. Like everything tries to end by midnight now. There's times
I'm totally fine with that.
I remember seeing bands at Thirsties over the years where like the second set was starting at midnight and there was going to be a third, and you wouldn't dream of that now because people don't want to do it. I think part of it is like collectively, our generation just can't stay out that late anymore. And the younger generation is a little bit smarter than we were at that point.
Or occupied with other things.
Yeah.
It's hard to hold people's attention for 4 hours. Yeah, this almost feels like it's good for you.
It is good for you. There's like almost a full ounce of freshly squeezed lime juice.
Oh yeah, so it's got all the vitamins and minerals that you're going to need for your daily intake right here in one glass.
Healthy. That's the new workout plan I'm going to start selling is is like 10 Batangas a day. I'll be like sued after like a week.
Never count your calories. Yeah, just come up with some bullshit diet like the South Beach diet or something.
I did the Jesse Wheeler Batanga diet and I almost died.
Like all I did was smoke cigars and drink tequila.
I did the Dangerous Dudes Batanga diet.
Mm-hmm.